Hello, and good morning. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. Right here, what you will see is a QR code, or you can go to sendfox.com/SEO mastermind. If you'd like me to do a live audit on your website or your GBP, I'd love to help you out. It's free. I won't bother you. We don't send out emails except for once a month unless we're doing like some type of offer, and it's rare. I just like getting emails, so I don't do things that I don't like. With that said, I know it's early. I got a new addition. His name is Christian. Hi, Christian. That's my buddy. We're hanging out. He's 9 weeks old. He's a Yorkshire Terrier, and he's a very good boy. With that said, I talked to a client today, right? Well, past client. Um, they were going through, these new guys are getting distribution. And they got some of the pieces right. I just want to clarify some things for the client that previously worked with me and went with another agency. That's great, right? As long as they succeed. And they're getting distro, and they got a few things right, but they're missing a few things. The homepage issue, and what I want to walk you through, we're going to cover that in a minute. I'll make sure that the stream's running. It looks like it's good. They got a few things right. Homepage, it's that we don't want to build internal links going to the homepage to put overemphasis on something that's going to compete with the rest of the website. Now, what I want to share with you today is I want to walk you through not only the overall strategy, but I'll also give you the step-by-step. We'll actually log into the back end of a WordPress website. I know there's all these different types of builds, and there's actually a name for it, a clinical term for shiny object syndrome. People always want new. I get it. I'm the same way, right? What's new, what's next, and how do you get there first? I understand. But just make sure that you get the foundation and the fundamentals correct first, all right? Oh, got the hoodie on. It's a little chilly in here, all right? Man, the little guy, this little bugger woke me up. So I walked across the street, and here we are, right? Christian, I'm going to put you over here because we got to get to business, all right? Little Chris is off tomorrow. He's going to be on his holiday. You can scan this QR code or go over to sendfox.com/ I'll edit this video later. Oh, people are dropping good. I'll give you guys some info here in a minute. All right, let's get into it. Check that out if you'd like. If not, here we're going to do it this way. Here, get rid of this. Come on over here. Hopefully you guys can hear me, right? All right. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and give you the strategies first. And then what we will do is we will actually log into the back end here. Here, I'll just use this website here. You can come over here. You want white label service. You want fully managed. You can click on this. Consultations, schedule intake. You want an audit, whatever you need. Hopefully we have you, right? You can take a look here. Anything that you need, I'd love to help you out. But let's talk about strategy, all right? First and foremost, we're not trying to take away homepage. You want to take away emphasis to the homepage. That's one step, all right? It's not about putting it in the title tags. Like, that's completely irrelevant. I mean, yeah, that's 101 basics, and that's cool, right? But I've been doing this a long time, right? I think it's past that, right? At least what I want to talk about today. So we will log into the back end here. We will cover strategy first, and then I'll walk you through the step-by-step process on how you can create your high commercial intent pages. And then I'll walk you through creating your supporting pages. I talked to a client today. They were having trouble. They didn't understand, or not that they didn't grasp the concept. They understood the tactic, the strategy behind it, but they weren't able to visualize the pieces. Most people are visual thinkers. I know I am. So I want to show you. And what we'll do is we'll log in here. Most assets that I use, I deal with Wix now. I have a little deal over there, so I like to use our assets. In any case, this is the back end. Most WordPress websites will look like this. If you're utilizing WordPress, first and foremost, I want to put this out on the table. You should minimize the amount of plugins that you have, All right. If you take a look here, I just want to point this out because this is an overall tutorial. I love these 12-minute full encompassing tutorials, and it's 12 minutes. That's awesome. Um, Look at this. WP Rocket, a builder, and usually if I wasn't using this because Live Canvas it's just CSS HTML hosted on WordPress, but I'll hand code schema. And then putting in the title tags and everything is relatively simple. Creating a sitemap is relatively simple for me, right? But WP Rocket, your builder, and SEO Press or Rank Math, not Rank Math, by all means, not Rank Math. All in one is another good one. Okay. So here, let's talk about strategy. I'll lay out the format, and then we'll get into it. And the strategy is relatively simple. Okay. It's and the client that I talked to, they were misinformed, right? Yes, covering the homepage is important. The next issue is if you have a high commercial intent page, or if you're a service business, you're doing local SEO, not creating service plus location is mind-blowing to me, right? Yes, I don't want to continuously pay dollars to create informational content, blogs, and targeting the same keyword. For instance, I have a pest control client. I'm not going to have a pest control Los Angeles page and then create a 10 tips for Los Angeles. But I will most certainly have a pest control plus California, and I will most certainly have a pest control plus Los Angeles, San Jose, and that's what we want to lay out. I want to help you visualize and put the pieces together for high commercial intent and how you create your supporting content. Simple. And I want to give you the step by step, but first, here's the strategy. All right. I'm going to be as quick and as simple and effective as possible. All right. If I didn't mention this already, my name is Chris Palmer at chrispalmer.org. This will be a step-by-step tutorial on how you will lay out the strategy of creating high commercial intent pages and then how you build your supporting content. You do not want to create informational content that does not serve a purpose. The objective of a website is to produce dollars for you, your business, and provide value. The reason why you're able to extract dollars from the market is because you're providing value, right? And the purpose of a website as a local business owner is not to inform, right? But it's to support the services. You're not a blog. I'm not creating or generating informational content in order to inform the general public so they go and make their purchasing decisions on first place rankers. No, I want to obtain 3 very critical spots. A, I want to be in the Google Guaranteed program or some type of advertising. B, I want to be in the maps section if I can get in there, if I'm in a local SERP. And C, I want the organic rankings. Whether you want it to be, if you're chasing new shiny and you want to call it generative, please note that search engine Google is still similarity based. Okay. Similarity based moving forward will be multi-vectoral, meaning that they are analyzing more vectors now in order to produce a graph, in order to understand a business, a person, a service, an organization, an artist, right? Yes, that is true. But the result is still similarity based, utilizing what is called cosplan or cosplane similarity. You can look it up for yourself. All right. With that being said, the strategy is very simple. We want to answer based upon intent. How do you do this? Well, we'll use the example because how this video comes about is I talked to a pest control lady today, and she was watching videos, and they're getting distro, but they have no idea what they're talking about. They're getting distribution now, right? They're showing up because they're consistent. Good for them. All right, here's how you want to do this. All right, I'm going to lay this out for you, and then we're going to move forward from here. Okay. So first and foremost, in order to make this as simple as possible, this will be strategy, and then we will go right over here to the website, and I'll share with you how you create the actual pages and how you set this up. All right. Very simply, quick, and easy. Now, I believe everything is working properly. So I'll quit jabberjawing and we won't waste any more time. We'll get right into it. So first and foremost, of course, you're going to have a website. Okay. Website.com. All right. Now, we can utilize an example, but remember, homepage is based upon your brand, the objective of the homepage. And I've said this and I'll say it again because the strategy doesn't change. The brand, business, or service needs to be synonymous with the services you provide. Simple. If you're pest control, great. I am X brand and I offer pest control. We do spiders, we do bugs, we do bed bugs, we do whatever you want. Spiders, bugs, hornets, doesn't matter. X brand offers this. Well, who works there? Who's their team? What's their business look like? Right? This is the information. We'll talk about that in one moment. All right. So you have your website.com. And yes, you want to have facts. You want to have about us. You want to have a contact page. But what do those pages serve? What is that purpose? Yes, we call them filler pages. They're fluff pages. But what is the purpose of a contact and about us, a facts, a meet the team, a privacy, a terms of service? What is what's the point? Well, the point is actually this. I'm building out www. Whatever the website is, / everything is supporting the main idea, the brand, right? Simple. So we are going to have a meet the team and note structure. It's important. And we'll dissect this together. But structure is important. So we have our meet the team page, and I won't draw boxes, but we have meet the team. We have website.com / about. Okay. About us. Here, we'll go like this, copy. All right. Then what else do you have? You have a contact. Control C. Okay. And this will all make sense in a moment. Let me put out the strategy. We'll do a visual strategy. Why did it take it away? Control V. Contact. Contact. Christian, what you doing, buddy? What you doing, little buddy? Go on your little bed. It's comfy. All right, let's bust a move here. Contact, about, meet the team, right? Does this look very familiar? Looks familiar to any website that's out in the marketplace, right? No matter what your industry is, you're generally going to see this. Now, note structure. See how I have website, homepage, / a supporting piece of content to the brand. You'll have terms, you'll have privacy, contact, about, meet the team. These concepts support the team or support the homepage. So if you're visualizing this from a standpoint of website, we have one homepage and then you have 1, 2, 3 pages here. 1, 2, 3, right? Just like so. All right. Now, if I were to take this, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, right? And if you were to take this, I have this one, I have this one, 2, I have this one, I have 3. I'm going to do this visual because I don't know who's watching this and I don't know how you understand information. So if it's boring to you right now, please bear with me because most people think in different ways, right? So I have to show it multiple ways, even though we're saying the same thing. So stick with me. That's why I repeat myself, but I repeat myself with different examples because I understand the same way you're going to write personal injury lawyer, personal injury attorneys, personal injury near me. It's because the intent, I'm saying the same thing, but the intent is different, okay? My goal is to help as many people as possible and hopefully convey enough information that, hey, when you get down your road or your journey, when you get to the finalization or you start to understand and grasp the pieces and you realize, wow, there's a lot of thinking and a lot of work and a lot of time, it's worth calling Chris. I want to be top of mind, okay? That's why we're doing this. Let's sit down now. So come on over here. Website.com. Now, the reason why I'm showing this is going to support the main idea. This is supporting the brand. Now, the reason why I'm drawing it up is when I have pages, the supporting pages that support the brand are going to internally link up to the brand. I'm building my internal flow from fluff pages or from these types of pages. Why? Because these directly support the main idea. Generally, these types of pages like this one and this one and this one will be in the header menu. The ones down below in your footer menu will be your privacy, your terms, pages such as this, okay? The reason why I want to minimize the homepage link and minimize terms and privacy is I don't want to put overemphasis on fluff pages or pages that don't directly correlate into dollars for you. And that's why you're doing this. Now, we're not putting internal links going to these pages inside of the pages, right? Header and footer, yes. But we know that the body has the most power, right? Minuscule amounts of extra power, but it's the most powerful place to put an internal link. And we're going to dissect this even more. Now, you understand that these pages support the brand. Are you with me so far? Excellent. Now, let's talk about service pages. Now, let's use an example. Let's do my other favorite, another industry that's near and dear to my heart. Okay. So how about website.com/we buy houses. Okay. CA. So we buy houses in California. All right. Now, this is a top level page. You can even put CA here if you wanted, or California. Okay. Any way you want. But note that my H1, my title, my page is going to be optimized for the state. This is a top level page. Now, depending on what Google is rewarding, all SERPs are different. Industries are different. Where you're trying to rank, depending on where you are and what service you're providing, and the city and the location and what's being rewarded will determine what the structure of the website is. If I'm taking a look at a SERP, right? If you come over here like this, and I come out here, and we go to we buy houses California, right? And you probably want to change your location, but this is for sake of time. I'm just going to show you the answer of what you're looking for. You come over here and you see what Google's rewarding. This is going to change based upon proximity. This is a different algorithm. It's a separate product, all right? So we're going to scroll down here to organic. What won't change is organic listings, all right? Sort order might change, but the page will not. Sort order changes based upon multiple factors. Some say it's 200, 300, 400, 500. Who knows? I don't work at Google. But what I can say, though, is the pages will always be the same. So we can see the California top level page. Take a look. In the bottom left-hand corner of my screen right now, when I hover, you'll notice a URL, right? See it? So that's a top level page. Lo and behold, remember I wrote CA initially? Who would have thought that the top performing website just wrote CA in there? Gee, who would have thought, right? I don't tell you, I only tell you things to lead you to success. Okay? There's no, it's up to you. Do as you wish. Take a look at this. So we have home light. Take a look at this. So we have, now take a look, note structure. So we have homelight.com, big brand. Now, everybody's not winning for the same reason. Some could be winning because of age, because of links, because of content, because of internal links. There's a lot of factors at play. One of the largest is page age. Biggest factor there is. Okay. So we can't look at one and say, oh, look at the structure. Because here we have a top level page, and this one we have blog / a piece of content. So they're winning with informational intent. So what's that telling us so far? Well, if I see more like this, that tells me that this is a blended SERP. This is really good for your, if we want to utilize new terminology, GEO, right? Because when we have blended SERPs, that means that I have a high probability of being able to create an informational piece of content and be able to get a site link, right? Now, a page ranks for more than one term. So the head term might not have a generative, but a page ranks for all different variations. It might show for something else. Bear with me here. Let's scroll down. We're looking at structure right now together. I was just giving you extra information. We scroll down here. We can see it's a home page. We can see here we have a structured page, Houseo. Right here we see a home page. We come down here, we see a homie. We come on down here. Whoop. Yep, home. We see this. We have a top level page. We scroll down here, we have a home page. Here we have a top level page. And then that's going to be it for the organic results on the top. So we have home and a top level pages for the majority. And then we have two that are siloed. Okay. So what's this tell us? Well, we have two opportunities, at least from a structural standpoint or an architectural standpoint, right? Structure matters. It's not a coincidence that every site on majority looks the same. It's not a coincidence that by majority that they have the same word counts. It's not a coincidence that they have the same header counts, right? It's not a coincidence. It's math. So when we take a look at this, we can say here that, hey, a top level page, that means the page after the root, right? Top level service page or a home page will find success here. Well, great, because looking at my example, that's exactly what I would have done. I would have wrote California. Okay. So this is called a top level page. Now, depending upon the SERP, when I look at cities, that will determine, that's why I dove into that, because it's important. What we want to look at here is we look at website.com/California / we buy houses Los Angeles. Depending upon the SERP, we will determine if we either have this being our A version or are we going to have a B version, okay? And the B version is very simple. Let's discuss that. So the B version, it's going to be one or the other based upon cities. Let me share with you the example. Having the structure is just like when you're building your house. You're going to build your house with rotten wood. Are you going to put old oil into your car for an oil change? No. These are foundational elements that are important, right? We have to get this right from the start. And we're going to dive even deeper into structure. And then I'm even going to show you the example. Just bear with me here. So we come over here to B, okay? Now here, let me show you something. Now, if I am searching, all right, from here, we'll change this. This is GS Location Switcher. It's made by Valentine app if you're curious which one it is. We're going to go to Los Angeles. All right, we're going to turn this on. Los Angeles is in California. Hooray. We buy houses. Okay. Searching from, it thinks I'm in London. Let's make sure we turn this on. I must not have clicked the button in time. Things happen. I make mistakes like everybody. Let's click this. We push the button. We buy houses. Now we search. Little Tokyo. Perfect. We're in LA. Now, moving forward, we're going to take a look down the list, but we also want to do another search that has the non-geofied. We want to do non-geomodified and we want to do geomodified. Why? Because we want to be the true winner and we want to identify true winners so we know what structure, and then furthermore, we know how to do our on page. Because in the words of our friend Kyle Roof, the secret is hiding in plain sight. It's clear. He said it well. I took it from him. It's good, right? It's right here in front of us. And this is how we've been doing SEO from the very beginning, but I like how he put a little spin on it for us. All right. Thanks, Kyle. Here, let's scroll down. We take a look here. We buy houses. Let me come over here. We buy houses. Los Angeles. Right. What the cookies? You have a beautiful bed and you want to lay there. Okay. Do whatever you want, dude. You're quick. You have a bed. No. You're so cute. You're the most adorable little fella. We're thinking. Hi. All right. You good? All right, dude. Moving on. Sorry about that. I got to introduce him. We just got him. He's a nice pup. He's a good boy. My friend. One of them. One of three. All right. Scrolling down the list here. So we're gonna have our blinders on, right? Remember, different results in different places are different products. They're manned by different teams. In fact, anyone that's marketing a good enterprise, just like Google, is going to keep products separate, right? You can't give the pieces to everybody. Moving forward, we scroll down the list here. We could see geomodified result. How's Geo? Well, now we are going to search for the primary term without a geomodifier. What are we looking for? We're identifying structure, and we're also identifying who are the true winners. Why? Two reasons. One, structure. Two, for our optimization later, we want a blueprint for success, right? We want to find the top 3 to 5 winners on the first page. You can even get more in order to calculate averages. Okay. There's more than that, but for your on page, that's how I do it. There's more than one way to win. Okay. So we scroll down. We see our boys here. We buy houses. Searching from LA. So they're rewarding the California page. Okay. Looks familiar, doesn't it? An internal page with informational intent from a high authoritative website, but it is geared towards Los Angeles. Now, when we take a look at, we see our hard silo blog / companies that buy houses in LA. See, they're selling real estate. They're selling posts. They have 2 things going on. 1, they're putting their personal brands up at the top. 2, they're selling the rest, right? Good hustle for them. That's good. Good for them. Scroll down the list here. We buy in LA. So this person, and I give pieces of information as we go if you're new, right? I noticed that most people are new. That's fine. So when we're going, I'll give you multiple ideas in order to inform you more and more, right? This isn't top level. This isn't surface level. These are the things that go into, I'm telling you ways to be a winner, all right? These are the things you need to contemplate. When you go into search, you're going up against me, and guys better than me, and ladies better than me. And this is what they're calculating, all right? So if you're a business owner, you want to give yourself at least a fighting chance, all right? So when we come into here, we can see we're looking at structure, we're identifying true winners, and then here's what else we're doing. We're coming into here and we're looking at this. So I see that this is a exact match, all right? We buy in LA. Now, this doesn't mean if you start seeing this in your own niche that, I should have an exact or a partial match. Those are great when you identify primaries. But here's something that I know. Vanity terms do not produce money, all right? In some industries, they do. But oftentimes, you're either closed into a keyword set. A keyword set will be anything that has variations of LA in it. And in LA, maybe that's great. But generally, vanity terms like SEO New York or, something like that, or plumber New York, right? Like that's hot. Or my personal favorite, buy houses New York. It's not like we buy houses for cash New York. You with me so far? Okay. So just because you see these, this doesn't mean it's always a winner. But we're looking to identify the structuring of our city pages, remember, all right? So I gave you some extra information, but we are looking to identify the structure of our site, right? Because that's the walkthrough today. So we're going to scroll down here, and we can see homepage. We can see a homepage. We see Yelp, and we don't care, right? A lot of times I'll talk to business owners, and they'll get it confused. They'll say, Yelp isn't anything like me. That's not a competitor. Or my personal favorite is, I never see their trucks. I don't ever see them. Yeah, but they're winning digitally. And if they're winning digitally, then that means we can calculate deficits in order to catch them, right? Digitally, we can see their word count. We can see referring domains. We can see their anchor, their internal linking, their pages, their keyword clusters, right? We can match and mirror. So always, always, always identify in the SERPs what the blueprint is. It's all right here, okay? We keep going down the list here, home light. So we have top level, this is supporting, and then we're going to be cooked. Let's go to page 2 because I have to look. All right, so structure, hard silo. So let me ask you something. When I start seeing this, I don't care about those. I care about this. Home, top level page, home page, top level page, home page, silo, and home page. So it's clear as day for the for the non-geo-modified term that we want either a home page or a top level page. Most of the time, that's what it's going to be in almost every industry. It didn't always be that way. It was not always that way. We used to build silos for everything. And a long time ago in 2011, people used to even put things like blog / whatever, or they would write plumber / plumber in Ohio, right? Like insanity. They would have top level broad match terms as category pages. madness, right? And then build all the authority of information and location to that broad match page and then wonder why they can't rank in 2025 or 2026, about to be. That's why. It's one page, one idea, one topic, and it needs to start with your structure. And I think we're clear on this particular SERP, how we would do it. Okay. So we've identified that home pages and top level pages are what is going to be the best. So our option B is out, but I'm going to put it here for sake of example and templatation. So you know what I'm talking about. All right. So website.com, this is not the way that I would do it for this SERP, for this example. But if you see hard silos, this is what I mean. So we would have California / we buy houses Los Angeles. Okay. And this is what I mean by a hard silo or a siloed page. Okay. We have a top level page, California, optimized for state plus we buy houses. We want it to be short and concise. And that's another fact. See, people will say that you want everything short and concise, and they're right? But that doesn't mean that I can't put we buy houses California, we buy houses Los Angeles. Remember, Google is looking at the page level. All right. So this is not that long right here. And this right here is not that long. I could put we buy houses California, we buy houses Los Angeles. That is not spammy. That is not against the guidelines. That is not anything. When you submit your for disavow or you submit for page removals inside of Search Console, what's Google ask you for? They ask you for the page, right? So it's the same way, just as long as you're keeping the page short, not the entire URL. All right. So let's keep moving on. This is out. All right. But this is what I mean when we're having a siloed website. Now you're still siloing with internal links, but we're not building a hard silo. This is a virtual silo, a floating silo, whatever you want to call it. All right. So this is out of here. Now that we have our top level service pages, this is high commercial intent. We have our state page, which is optimized for we buy houses in key optimization zones, URL, title, H1, primary density of the page, and variations within our H tags. And then we have our city page. Now, how does this work? Right? So I would have the state in the header and the footer. But when I'm on the state page or I'm on city pages, then I'm internally linking. All right. And we'll give you the actual example because this is where I had stumbling blocks with the client when I was trying to explain. Maybe it's me, but I'll do visual representation. Let's talk about supporting content. We'll show you strategy, and then we'll do the step-by-step. All right. If you have any questions thus far, I'm going to double check really fast. Let's see. Real fast. Good day. Do you use AI for your strat? My strat. My site? Depends on the site. Where can I record of these sessions? Well, when this is all done, it'll be up. All right, my friend? Okay. Enjoy. All right. Good speaking to you. And thank you for asking questions and being here. I appreciate you. Hopefully you walk away with some info. So now let's talk about supporting content. All right. Now, I want to share you something. All right. Let me share this something with you. Okay. Now there is a gent out here. All right. Let me figure. You can look it up. I don't remember the exact company. I believe it was called an exploit or a metasploit. Google exploit. Google intent types left in source code after Analyzing. That wasn't even close. Analyzing search results here. I'll show you here. Source code of result page. No. There, what I'm looking for, and you can find it, it was a big, they were analyzing search results. And it's like a Google exploit. I forget who did it. This was a while ago. All right. I thought it would show up. I thought putting in enough keywords it would give it to me. But the next portion that I'm about to tell you is not, I didn't just pull it out of my behind. It's based upon the analyzation of 70 million. Okay. Let me just double check. It wasn't none of these. Nah. Somebody did an analyzation, all right? But this was an exploit. Google left in, they were classifying titles by intent types and then putting them into ranking. That's how they were doing their rank. You can find it for yourself. I don't want to spend time looking for the exact, remember, it was an exploit. Google buried it, right? Kind of like Rand stuff. Remember when he found the code or whatnot? It was the same kind of deal. It was right before that in like 2023, 2022. They were doing analyzations of SERPs, millions of SERPs. And what they found is that who, what, when, why, where, how, best, and versus were classified as informational intent types. So this is how you support your content. And I didn't just make these things up. It was based upon millions of analyzed SERPs and how Google was actually coding, right, the search results based upon these intent types for informational queries. And it's how they're being fed into this generative or however you want to look at it. If I can build depth of concept, answering the questions of all intent types, who, what, when, why, where, how, best, top, versus, right? Top and best are the same thing. Those are also usually blended queries. But with that being said, if I answer those questions about a service, I build depth of concept. Let me share with you what I mean by this. All right. And look for yourself. I won't waste any time, but go and take a look. Here's how you do it. And it just so happens that these questions are the ones that have interest. They actually have volume generally. Now, I don't always or not always or only target informational queries with volume, but it's a good starting point when you're working on a brand new website, right? I want to have my main service page, and then I want to do depth. I want to create depth of concept information answering the queries in the proper structure. We'll talk about that in a second, but I want to start like this. It's a very simple strategy, and here's what you do. And it also just so happens that these queries are the ones that have volume generally. For instance, all right, here. May I ask what's wrong? Here, you lay right here, buddy. Lay down, pal. I know it's a new place. I don't usually bring you here, but I didn't want to leave you there all alone. So here. All right. You can take this here. This is called Incognition. This is a browser window. I shared this device along with many others with my brother, which is my lead, my team member. So we do work together. All right. If you're curious what this tool was and why I was loading that, because I get questions all the time. That's called Incognition. It's a great browser. It's kind of like Ghost Browser or multi-login. All right. It has good functionality, and that's a great free tier if you're curious. And no, I don't have a link. All right. So here, let's take a look together. So we're going to go ahead and scroll here. All right. but we need to go to our keyword research. The reason why I'm showing you this and the reason why this is important is because we want to build supporting content, but we're not just creating blogs to create blogs. We're going to talk about the structure in a second, and structure matters. Importance and where it shows up in the structure matters. How you internal link matters. We want to put emphasis on pages that make you money, high commercial intent pages. All right. But how we build depth of concept is answering questions that get volume generally. And those questions generally start with who, what, when, why, where, how, best of, versus. Okay. Simple topic. So how you do this is you come in here and you don't have to use SEMrush. I love SEMrush, right? I'm not an ambassador. They kicked me off. I don't know why. Get at me. But here, come over here. I'm still an ambassador. I love them. They're great. You know why I chose SEMrush initially? Because everybody wanted to use Ahrefs. That was it. That was it. I was like, man, when everybody goes left, I turn right. So here. Oh, you see what I've been working on? Was I working on dental implants and working with dentists recently? Perhaps. Here, take a look at this. Let's start with a head term. Pick a head term. What do you like? Personal injury? Real estate? How about personal injury? Better yet, I think the example that our friend was using was plumber. Okay, now let's take a look here. Now, what's great about SEMrush is we're in the keyword magic tool. All right, we are in United Kingdom. I have clients in UK and US, all over at this point. It's been over a decade, so I've been doing this. But here, take a look at this. So we come over here, we put the head term into the keyword magic tool. Any tool that there's other even cool tools. For those of you that want to go ask GPT, go ahead, right? However you get the answer, there's more than one way to win. Do it. I implore you. So here we go here, though, if you want to just get to the answer quick. That's why you pay money for data. So we come over here. We go to questions. Now we typed our head term here, and we're looking for questions to answer to build depth of concept. And we're going to get into why and how to structure it. And then I'll give you the example. Bear with me. So we come over here. We can see there's actual interest. Why does that matter? And do I have to answer something that has volume, Chris? And why does that matter? Well, for starting, because this is geared towards new websites, I want to start when there's volume, right? I don't want to create something that doesn't have interest. I want to get the ball rolling. The traffic that you receive and the impressions that you get, that's what Google thinks your site is about. So I want to be very concise semantically on what I'm creating content about. I also do not want an overexceeding amount of informational content supporting a topic, because if I have more blogs than I have commercial pages, what am I? You're not a blog, right? But if I have very semantically sound pages that are indexed, getting impressions, getting traffic, and have eyeballs, and it's structured right and internally linked right, and I have less pointing to my commercial page, well, that's good SEO. Take a look here. Take a look at this. So I'm answering questions. How much, and a lot of these will say the same thing. When should I get it? How much? But this is how I figure out what my first content plan is going to be. And you want to get your pages out as fast as possible. So generally what we'll do is we'll look to answer 5 to 7 questions that have volume when we first start. We want to launch all our commercial, all our filler pages, and all our info pages as fast as possible. Why? Because page age matters. I need Google to see, index, cache, crawl, and view. I need to get the ball rolling. Time is everything. It's the invisible factor that has the most weight. Okay? Page age is massive. Okay? So here's how you do that. And that's how you build depth of concept. What do I mean by depth of concept? Come on over here. I'll show you. All right. So this is depth of concept about the brand. Okay. Meet the team, about us, contact, facts. Maybe you'll do some testimonials or a review page, or you'll create a founder's page, right? This is stuff that supports the brand, and my internal link flow conveys that, because I built these pages and they're linked in the head and the foot, but I'm building internal links in the body back to the homepage. Why? Because it's supporting. Not only is it supporting it within the structure, but it's also supporting through the internal link flow. And it's the same for services. Let's talk about this. So we're down here. We have this example here. Website.com/California. Well, this is wrong. All right. Can I just delete the whole thing? Perfect. So we want to build to the top level page. You do not create geo-specific informational content. You do broad match informational content. You found my CO2. That's for my BB gun. That's for the BB gun, silly. You silly little goose. You are just a little pepper jack, aren't you? Yeah, you're a little pepper jack. I know. A little pepper. You're like just so feisty. You're so feisty. Yes, you really are. You remind me of myself. You're just in everything, huh? Walking around, biting on stuff. Okay, you sit right here and we're going to finish this, okay? Okay, good. Where were we? Okay, so we're building depth of concept, right? So we want to convey this not only through structure, but also internal linking. We're answering very specific, semantically correct terms. We don't just willy-nilly start doing things. Everything has a purpose, everything has a place, and there's a reason that we're doing something. All right? The goal of informational content is not to get traffic. That's one thing. But the real piece is to support the service page that makes you dollars. Because why else would you be doing this? Right? I hate to say that. It hurts. But why else would you have a website, right? So here, take a look. So you're going to have your website.com / we're going to say CA. Better yet, I'll just do it right. California, California / how much do homes sell for? Or better yet, we come over here. We buy houses. Big primary term. We're looking for informational. We're looking for supporting. We're looking for semantically sound supporting content that has eyeballs. I don't care if it's 5 eyeballs or 10 eyeballs. The less eyeballs and the higher the CPC, the better, more valuable. It's kind of like buying ads. See, most people are chasing the lowest dollar ads. No. See, if I'm getting my ads, if I'm buying from MasterCard, because we'll do ads through MasterCard, I pay $40, $50 for a sign up, but they're usually qualified, right? High quality stuff costs. All right, you with me? So here we take a look at this. So it's the same thing with traffic. I want low, high dollar, usually. All right. So we take a look at this. So how much ugly? I know that Ugly Houses is a huge brand, so we don't want to use brands, right? You don't want to tick anybody off here. These egos are huge in some markets, okay? Last thing we want to do is step on an ego. We'll get them later. So is We Buy Houses a scam? Is an informational. So perfect. Let's do that. Is We Buying Houses a scam? Supporting the main idea. So if we were looking at this from a actual structural standpoint, we would have this. We would have homepage, right? We would have this is our California page. And then we would have this is this page, okay? The reason why I drew this out was to showcase to you internal link flow. See, I have supporting content on the state top level page. But wait, Chris, I thought you said we're going to have other top level pages, but for cities. Well, we are. And here's the beauty of this. And again, we're going to share that with you step by step in a moment here. But we have this page here. This is targeting the state, right? Well, on this page, the California page, what do? Well, you build an internal linking block, right? And on these sites, I have a lot that's in here. Here, I'll show you something. Uh, show you something quick what I mean. So you come inside of here and you go to a top level page. Okay. So this top level page, because we are in We Buy Houses Kentucky, the top level page is the state. It's the home page. Obviously, this is the state. Now, what the next piece that you're going to do is we're going to make an internal block contextual in the body section going to the city pages. If your site is structured like this, where I have a top level page or my brand, I made the error of targeting an exact match, and I shrunk my potential by doing this. If you end up doing that, well, you make the homepage go after state, and then we only do one thing. We buy houses in Kentucky. So we have website.com/, look at Louisville, New Albany, Shelby, right? You get it? These are the cities. Now, what I wanted to share with you was internal linking. So scroll down the page here, and what you'll see this? This is called an internal linking block. All right. Now I have head, foot, body internally linked to the cities. What does this do? Well, I've spiked internal link flow going to top level pages targeting the city. Now on my top level page, because we're talking about information on my drawn example, this was a visual example. What we're doing here is this internal linking block would also include information. See this industry? You have two separate sites. We won't get into that, but we take a look here. We would add not only these service pages, but also our information. You with me? So not in the header or the footer, but when I'm on a top level page, when I'm on this page right here, I create my information pages and I create my location pages. So now my depth of concept is what? State, location, info. What do I link? Everything that's in that state talking about one topic. And I want to link from information up. The cities, they link up to the state. The state links down to what? Well, it links to the cities and to the info. The info links up to what? To the cities and to the state page. Are you with me? But we never going to link from big top levels to info. The info is there to serve two purposes. One, we want to build emphasis and depth of concept based upon a topic or a service that potentially makes you dollars. And the other thing that we want to do is we want to build internal link flow up. Why is internal linking important? Well, the reason why internal linking is important is this is how I convey to the robot, hey, this is important. All right. I'm pointing internal links. I'm screaming, hey, this is important. So much so that even inside of, if you come over here, I'll show you something, right? Look at, come inside of here, go to Search Console, okay? Come inside of here. It's so important, right? That not only, I'll just show you on mine, not only is Google going to show you external links that come in, well, they've even hard-coded it into their system, their analytics system. They spent money, time, and resource to give this to webmasters like you. And they've pointed it out. Why? Because I'm putting external emphasis on pages and I'm also pointing internal emphasis to pages. What would be the reason? To showcase importance. I'm not going to waste money on things that have a lower conversion rate. Right? Now, if I have an informational piece take off, what do? Well, I put conversion actions to the top of the page, right? I still have a less probability of converting. It wasn't made for converting. It was made to inform about, they're at a higher part in the funnel per se. You with me so far? I hope so. All right. This shows the importance. They've even hard coded it into the system. So we've talked about the strategy overall. Now, how inside of WordPress do you start laying this out, right? Well, I'll share with you this example. Okay, Christian, you want to show an example? Should we? We have to. See, there's you wouldn't believe the stuff that's floating around out there. All right. It's craziness. Crazy, crazy. The people that have no idea what's going on, they're getting visibility. And it's making me just want to cry. All right, come on, big dog. We'll go over here. Let me share this with you. All right. We're going to go into the back end. I'll just show you. My site doesn't have anything. It's a home page. It only has one purpose. It's a hub to point people. I have partnerships in multiple verticals. I personally do SEO, but I'm actually a lead generator. One of them of the best. All right, come on over here. All right. Plugins, themes, builders may be different. Colors might look different, but the layout and this particular section that we're going to talk about will always be the same. I want you to feast your eyes up here to the left-hand side. Mr. Palmer, Christian, I need to set you down. Okay, sweetheart? Okay, buddy. So here, come up, take a look at this. We have posts and we have pages. Forget the posts exist. All right? Hopefully that's clear. All right? I even deepened my voice. But forget that's even there. I don't want to use tags. I don't want top-level categories. I don't want anything to do with any of that. If you want to utilize that system, then forget that pages exist. But you have to pick one. I don't want two types. I don't want to be creating all this junk. I don't want to use WordPress-specific taxonomies, pagination types. Like, just use pages. Do yourself a huge favor and follow this guide right here, all right? So we're going to be using pages and pages primarily and only. Now, when you're using pages and you forget about posts, well, we want to create what is called menus, all right? And there's a reason for this. The reason why we want to create menus is there's multiple reasons, but I'll give you the two main or the high impact reasons. One is I want to be able to add easily to the head, the foot, and body section internal linking blocks. Remember the example on the Kentucky website where it's a block? Well, if I create a menu once, I don't have to go to every page and add links. I create one menu and I add it wherever I want. Headers, footers, bodies, hidden, behind an image, whatever you want, right? Put it in a script tag. Nobody will even know it's there. But Google will see it because it's in the rendered DOM, all right? And now the goal with the internal links is to do what? Jack up interest, to showcase to the bot, hey, this is important, right? So we're creating pages. Now, when you're coming inside of here, you want to create a top level page. How do you do it, Chris? Here's how you do it. Go to pages, click on add new. All right. Now, what you'll want to do is you'll come up here and you'll say, hey, we have a top level page. Let's call it SEO. All right. So no matter what, you're going to be able to click that quick edit button. Now I went in, I created the page called SEO and I changed the title tag. Slug means URL. So I made SEO, right? And then you want to put your date in here. You want this to update. You can also auto update if you want. And I'm sure there's some fancy thing that will take you 3 days to learn how to use. Meanwhile, you can just keep chugging along, right? So here, we'll come inside of here, December. Okay, 22nd. We'll go a little bit before. We'll change this to an odd number this time, 23. Let's say this is 1123. Sound good? Great. So now we have title, our slug. Okay. And then if you come up here to screen options, if you want, you can do an extended. We'll do apply. And why would we want to do that? Well, we should be able to add. Oh, I forgot I don't have the SEO plugin. I was going to show you where to put your meta description, but it's not here. Doesn't matter. This is a top level SEO page. This could also be your state page. This could be a primary service page. All right, you with me so far? Excellent. The next step that we want to do is we want to create city pages based upon the top level. All right. So if I was creating a hard silo, Or I just wanted to create my menu. What do? Well, I want to come over here and I want to go to the appearance button. It's in the left-hand side. Now, when you go to appearance, the very next step that you want to do is click on menus. Now, there are tools to make your life a lot easier, and they're free, and I would love to share them with you right now. What you want to get to make your life simple, and remember, this will help with your internal linking. And the reason why you're using WordPress is because it's a content management system. It makes content management nice. It makes it easy. It's a management system. Like, I love the Webflows of the world. I love Wix. I love all these Firebase sites, like all these new sites. Yeah, they're cool. They're pretty. But I also like ease. There's a reason why 70% of the web's WordPress, right? Or whatever the figure is now. Like, there's a reason. It's easy, right? Moving forward. So the tool that I want to share with you is going to be a tool called Bulk Menu Creator. Let me share with you what it looks like. So you want to come over here. It's called Bulk Menu Creator WordPress. And last time I checked, it was complimentary. So it has a weird logo. I'll show you. It's like red and black. See? There it is. It's orange, black, and gray. My mistake. But here's your tool. We're going to go to download. All right. So yes, I'm downloading it to my machine for sake of example. So this is called Bulk Menu Creator. No, it's not my tool. I don't know whose it is. It's free, dude. It's free. It's free. Okay, go get it. So here's the next thing. So we're going to create our menu now. We're going to go over to our plugin section. This is how you upload the plugin if you wanted to. So we're going to go to add plugin. And yes, there's a store. You could do it that way. But that particular plugin you can't get out of the store. I don't think it's listed. So, maybe it's me. I don't know. But you come up here to the top, see add plugin. You click that button. Simple, right? We upload plugin. I like to do it this way. Let me see, actually. Bulk menu. Oh. Well, I love being corrected. It's flipping in the store, dude. Awesome. Even better. I love this guy, Quebec, or whatever his name is. I love you, dude. Thank you. You made my life a lot easier. Thank you. We'll even launch some pages. We're going to launch a silo together. I saw my good friend. I won't say because I know he's, I walk on the line and he's 100% on the up and up. But I noticed that he is ranking for SEO expert New York. My friend, I'm coming for that. That'll be fun. I'm glad to see that you're winning, by the way, Eric. That's good. I wonder if you learned anything with us. Who knows? Moving forward. So we have our bulk menu creator. Wonderful. Now, when you look over here to the left-hand side, what you're going to notice is that you will see a button. I think it's under appearance called menus. So you click on menus and this is not generally how the menu screen will look. Again, your theme, your colors, and all the other junk, like plugins that are hard sell or have good commission structures, have all kinds of crap all over. For instance, like Elementor or like Rank Math or Yoast. Like, there's junk everywhere, bogs down your system. It's not for me, right? See how clean and simple this is? Like, in my opinion, you should have your builder. You should have your speed plugin like WP Rocket. And then you should have SEO Press. SEO Press, WP Rocket, and then pick a builder that you love. I chose Live Canvas for one reason only. One, the guy's cool. Okay, there's 3 reasons. 2, it's cheap, right? I like affordable, I should say, inexpensive. And 3, I can upload my own custom CSS. 4, it will serve a static HTML page. It's CSS and HTML combined, and I create an SCSS custom. I can run my own scripts. I can do whatever I want. The code is clean. That's the reason, okay? And it was cheap and affordable. So what I was looking to do is I wanted to have a ability, if I wanted to, not that I want to, but if I wanted to have the feel or the look, if I wanted to spend the time and get a Webflow, a heavy CSS site, I would have the ability to do so, right? But I wanted the code clean. I wanted the ability to edit the code. I wanted to be able to edit the theme file and have everything clean. So that's why I chose Live Canvas. And no, I don't have a link, but it's a great utensil theme moving forward. So there's two options here. We're under appearance on menus. The reason why this is here is because I have the plugin called Bulk Creator. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create menus based upon service types. So here's what you want to do. You want to come inside of here and you're going to name it. So this is going to be my SEO. All right. So this is my SEO expert silo. I'm creating the silo in the menu. Why? Because I can add it to the head. I can add it to the foot. I can add it any flipping where I want. So you come inside of here and you'll write this is going to be the anchor text. And yes, it shows up in the code. So we're going to do SEO New York. We're going to do SEO Los Angeles. ANGELES. Okay. We're going to do SEO Houston. We're going to do SEO Denver. Where else? Scroll down. We'll do one more. Los Angeles, New York, Houston, Denver. How about Chicago? Chicago, Miami, I'll hit all the cities. But for this example, we'll just do these 5. Okay? The next thing that we want to do is we want to add the menu items. Now, we don't want to we want to put the URL in here. Why? Because I want the URL strings to be in the code. Why? Because Google reads rendered DOM. Why is that important? And why do I want the URL? Because Google will give us credit, not only for the A tag or the anchor, but also the terms within the URL. So I'm getting credit for brand, location, and service times 2. With me? Okay, that's why we're doing it this way. So HTTPS, okay, chrispalmer.org / So we have SEO New York, SEO Los Angeles, SEO Houston. So this is going to be SEO. Then what else? Then we're going to do SEO New York, SEO Chicago, SEO Denver, SEO Houston. All right, you with me so far? Great. Okay. Let's do one more. Oh, did I mess that up? New York, Chicago. Hey, I make mistakes, and I'm sure you will too. I don't pre-plan this. I'm not reading off a teleprompter. I just actually know how to do this. I do this for a living. I'm not reading off a script or a teleprompter. I just do this. This is what I do. Sorry, it's not crisp. No, I'm not. Chicago. SEO Denver. The main man Williams back at it. I saw. Good man. He's healthy. I wish him nothing but the best. If you see this, my friend, wish you nothing but the best, man. I hope you have a prosperous year. I hope yourself and your family have a great year. I hope you're a success, brother. Houston, New York, Chicago. Let's do one more. We'll do Los Angeles, all right? Right. So SEO Los Angeles. All right. So SEO Los Angeles. So I'm putting my anchor texts. This is bulk menu creator. This will be a primary menu, but we're going to create this, automatically add new top level pages. This is going to be a secondary menu. Okay. So we're going to put this here. Now we're going to generate menu items. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Now we have them, right? We go in here to our pages, view all. That's how you do that. All right. So that's how you create the menu. That's how you create the links. And that's how you create the bulk menu. Let me show you the next thing. Now, here's the question that I get a lot. Now we've seen the pages. Now what I want to do is I want to create supporting content. How do I do it actually, step by step? Okay. Now you've seen this. All right. And now I want it to be a hard silo. All right. How do you do it? I've been asked. I know it's simple to some. This might be simple to you. But let me share with you how you would create a hard silo. Are you ready? This is what you do. So you come inside of here. Oh, save this. All right. I need that for later. All right. I was just showing you the bulk menu. This is how you'll create that. And then you can add this to main menus. You can add it to other sections. I just wanted to put this in here. This will be my drop down for SEO. All right. That's how you do that. That's head foot. I can add this menu anywhere I want. And that will create an internal linking block like I shared with you on the Kentucky site anywhere I want. I get added 20 times to a page. I spike my internal links up. Google still can't read. Okay. So we come over here. And now what we want to do is we want to go to add a page. So what I want to do is I want to put in what is, I don't know. How about what does a local SEO expert do? Okay. This will support my SEO page. Better yet, what does an SEO expert do? This is hypothetical. All right. We go in here, we go to edit. Does a SEO expert do? Now you only put a N if the first letter is a vowel. Okay. Then you write AN. If it's not a vowel, then you just put A. Okay. Wondering why I know that? I looked it up. I was curious. How come sometimes I see people write N and sometimes they write A? I wasn't sure. I asked. Hopefully that helps you. So now that we've created the page, all right, we're going to come down here and you see this attribute? See this? Page attribution. So see how now, because I'm using pages, not posts, I have the ability to create a parent. So my parent is SEO. The child is what does an SEO expert do? Right? And then it will show up. And how did I do this? Well, I made the extended menu. All right. Sometimes people's stuff will look like this. All right. Page, image, options. See this on the side? Sometimes people's stuff looks like this. I see this a lot of the times. I like it in one row, but if you like it like this, I see a lot of people's like this, right? See on the right-hand side, it's called page attribute. You just do a parent, select your parent, all right? And now this is it. That's it. And then what will that do? Well, that will create your hard silo. That will create, for instance, this is SEO / What does an SEO do? Right? And then here's website. Website. Okay? You with me? Excellent. So that's how you literally create the hard silo. Now, if you wanted to do the blocks, that's where the menu comes in. Because remember, I can add a navigational menu anywhere I want, right? I could add it to the top of the page, the bottom. My personal favorite, secondary menus, secondary footers, internal body menus. The reason why I do menus is because I can always, it's my management system. Inside of menu, under appearance, you go over here to menus. All right. And how many times have you, think about this if you're a webmaster or you work at an agency or you do work for yourself. How many times have you created content and then you're looking inside a search console and you see non-indexed or crawled not indexed, or you'll see 404, and then you'll look, and the reason why it's 404 or crawled not indexed is because there's a internal link, right? Google is still going to that page because you had a old blog post that had a link to it, right? This way, I have everything is based upon menus. So when I have a new page that I want to add or a link that I want to take away that's internal, I go in and I edit the menu. See bulk select? I can just remove it. I don't have to go page by page and remove. I can control everything with menu. And that's why you do it. Utilize your content management system to your benefit. I'll answer any questions that you have, but this is how you determine your structure. This is how you create top level pages. This is how you create supporting pages or parent child. This is how you structure. This is how you internally link. This is the step by step, the strategy. I gave it to you. Here you go. I hope that helps you. I really do. We covered a lot. My throat's starting to hurt, so we're going to call it. How about map ranking? What? 9 people? Let's talk about it. What do you mean? What specifically would you like to know, sir? Let's dive into it. What's up? What do you mean? Which part? How may I help you? I am a servant, a humble servant. How may I help you? Serious. What do you mean by that, my friend? Like, what is this? That's an entirely different video. However, let's talk about this from a web standpoint and how GBP will work. Okay. Here, come on over here. All right. Because I see all types of tomfoolery out there. There's a white hat run right now. I've been seeing it on YouTube. It's a sad day for the boys. Sad day. It's a sad day, Christian. They got fat while we starved. It's my turn. Oh. Let's talk about it from a web standpoint. All right. Let me see what we got. All right. First and foremost, let's put this out there. Because there's a misconception with linking, all right, that I want to point out with GBP first and foremost, all right? Now, my good friend Mike uses my term, who you are, what you do, and where you're at, right? Big Mike, thank you for promoting that because that's good info, right? That's straight out of my mouth. And I agree with you big time. That's why I said it. So what we want to do is we want to identify, here's who we are, and we want our depth of concept based upon us. That's these pages. We also want to have, here, let's get rid of this because it's a mess, okay? Let's be a little bit cleaner and tidier. 4 o'clock. I think I have a client meeting at 9:30. I just got to make sure I get some rest. All right. So we have our California top level page. We're talking about We Buy Houses. This is our informational page, right? This could be a location page. We Buy Houses, Los Angeles. Okay. So we have top level pages that just say California, that are tuned for We Buy Houses. You can even write We Buy Houses California here if you wanted, just for sake of example. And we're going to get into the GBP. There's a synergy. They need to be congruent. They need to work together. They're side by side. Do I need the website to win? Absolutely not. Will it help me? Will it assist? Will it, especially if all the winners are showcasing a website and I have a website attached that's being transparent with the users to Google, with ourselves and our customers and potential customers? Absolutely. They work together. I don't need it, but it doesn't hurt. So if you're going to do it, you have to do it right, because if Google senses or does analyzation and it's not being transparent to users, or if there's any type of effery going on, that's a massive problem. All right. So we want everything to be cohesive. We want it to work together. We want there to be a synergy. And then here's how this works. Okay. Now let's talk about this maps. All right. And here's how they work together. So you see how the internal link flow works? Oh, he's squeaking. He's having a little nightmare down here. Okay. So here's our info. And then if we're going to have a structure here, again, I'm starting at the top with a visual representation of the strategy. And then we'll talk about how the website works with GBP or maps. Okay. So we come over here. This is our homepage, right? So homepage. Let's do a different color. All right. Homepage. Homepage. Okay. So we have on top of our homepage, we're also going to have, we come down, we have a top level service page. In this instance, we have what? We Buy Houses, right? We Buy Houses in California. This is a top level state page. We also are going to have a page that's supporting, right? And this is going to be a is We Buy Houses sites a scam? Or in this instance, We Buying Houses a scam? This is a supporting piece of content that supports the main topic here. Okay. Now we're also going to have, don't forget, let's finish this off. We're also going to have, remember, these are all pages that support the main idea. This is a homepage. This is our brand. What do? Well, we buy houses in California. Where else in California? Well, we also do it in LA. And then here's / some more information. Remember, information will come after the California page. See this? There's a reason why I did this. You see, as you go farther in the structure, we're showing less and less importance. Google even will say to you, hey, you shouldn't do more than X amount of hops. Now, it might be different in other parts of the country. I know there's more than one way to win. How I've found success 80% of the time is this way, okay? I don't hit all the time. I have a great success rate. That's why I've been here so long, right? So I assure you. So here, we come over here. We Buy Houses in California, top level. And then we have our city pages. That's this page right here. Whoopsie. All right. Now, this page is supporting always supports this, supports this, supports this, supports this. These pages here, information, have two purposes. A force internal link flow, and I'm getting to GBP, bear with me here. I wanted to lay this out. They force internal link flow because I create 5 to 8, sometimes more, pieces of informational content. As long as they're getting crawled, cached, indexed, and seen, and they're getting impressions, hopefully getting clicks, then they stay. If not, they get pruned, or they get we'll refresh twice after 90 days. We do a page refresh depending upon budget, right? But the last thing we're going to do, though, is produce pages or produce work. That's why we do deliverable based work. We don't do all encompassing. We don't say, hey, I'll do a free audit and then try to whack you for 3Gs. No. Pay for the time, pay so I pay attention, and then I'll give you the layout of the plan. Here's what you need, whether you work with us or not, right? And that's why I do it this way. You're not trying to sell something to sell something. Everything has a goal or an end game. It's to have the client succeed, so they want to succeed more, and they tell other people that want to succeed more. That's how, in my opinion, that's how it goes. Okay. So we have our page here, and this has two purposes. One, internal links. Second is when I have informational content, I still want to build my DR if we're looking at a third-party metric. There's something that's called authority, overall authority. So I'm going to be more risky, or I'm going to be a lot more risky on informational content. A, because it converts at a much lower rate. And B, what's great about informational content is I can have multiple pieces of informational content, and it's not going, depending on how it's structured and it's internally linked, it's not going to compete or interfere with my high commercial intent. The other thing is if I'm building up my overall authority to my asset, I'm not going to, penalties come page by page. So if I run risk to an informational page, I'm not losing customers. And if there's ever a problem, it was just information, I'm not losing customers. I can always get rid of it. Okay? That's the truth. So this is a great hub for internal links. And it's a great way to build external links in. Now, why does this matter for maps? See, when we're on maps, remember, maps, Google Business Profile, is a website, but it's a one-page website. Think 2015. Remember those one-page scrollers? Well, here, take a look. Let me show you something. Remember all the pieces that we were building out that support the brand? Services, products, about us, our category, our name, our updates, or supporting content, right? It's all there on one page. GBP is just a website. It's another reflection of who you are, what you do, and where you're at. It mirrors the site, and the site mirrors the GBP. Because this is who I am. This is what I do, and this is where I do it. It all works together. So here, take a look. So what we want to do here, and if you know GBP, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Here, let's just grab one. Oh, I have a lot. How about personal injury lawyer Philadelphia. All right. Now, I don't know whose these are. This is just for example. All right. Let's go down to this one here. Let's see if they're following the formula. All right. Yes, they are. I wonder why. Okay. So when we come down here, I want to show this to you. Here's your site. Primary category. Okay. Location, city that we service. Here's our name, primary service, location, service location. Okay. We scroll on down. This is pointing to the home page. Unless they have more than one GBP, then it might be pointing to an internal page. This instance, they are actually showcasing this to the home page. All right. So this connects to the home page. Great. So far, we have built relevance from here. Right? We built here. here over to the home page, right? This talks about our what? Our brand and our primary service going to the home page, right? Primary service going to the home page. And then where does this link from? Well, on my home page, I'm linking back. It's called reciprocal linking, right? Back and forth, back and forth. This is just the most authoritative asset on the web. It's Google. Google pointing to my asset. I'm being transparent to users, myself, and Google, and potential customers. All right. Now, this directions, this is also listed here. Anything you see here needs to be listed here and then pointing back. Okay. So this is where the linking comes in. Now, when we're talking about GBP, I want to get this out on the table first and foremost before we go further. And we'll talk about the rankings, but there's a misconception. So you have a GBP profile, all right? And here, I want to, because this is just for example, get rid of this. Can't have this kind of stuff. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. This. This and this and this. I don't know if those are written. Okay. This is fair use. All right. There's no logos or anything, and I don't know who this is. I'm not promoting anything. This is not an advertisement. I don't know who this is. This is for educational purposes only. I'm not utilizing this is fair use. And if I utilized your logo and you have an issue, please reach me at 570-810-1080. Send me a text message, and I will blur or take down any resource that I utilize within the video. Let's move forward. So when we take a look at this here, we can see that we have our products. All right. Now, when you're a service business, your product is your service. I remember when I introduced this to the marketplace, there was only a few people doing it. And this was the concept is when you're a service business, your product is your service. So your services section and your product section mirror your service, the services over on your website, and you're building that reciprocal linking back and forth, right? So you do the same exact thing. All right. Now, I'm not going to keep going over this. All right. So we're going to go here and we'll do another example. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. All right. Now this is actually wrong. All right. You only get 4 categories, right? Remember, on your website, you can't be the expert of more than one thing. Google doesn't reward it. Oftentimes you'll see business owners, if you're doing power wash, and how often do you see people doing soft wash, power wash, hard wash, patio wash, driveway wash, right? Google rewards one. Or better yet, I see power wash, window cleaning, house cleaning. Google rewards one. Or personal injury. Personal injury encompasses a lot. That's your primary category. Now, I can do personal injury, but you're going to write. You should. Your category will be here, personal injury. And you get to have 4 categories. There's 4 categories, but they are all depth of concept based upon the primary category that you chose up here. Remember, this is product category. Here's your primary category up above here, right? So these 4 that you choose are depth of concept to support this up here. Are you with me? So you choose the 4 categories. It will say right here that I scrolled out. There'll be 4 separate categories. And then your products are what? Well, whatever your service and service location pages are, you point to those pages. Not only am I able to build links to my website, and this is going to be important coming up here, but I'm also building links back to this asset, building reciprocal linking. Now, I want to touch on this. I want to do this a lot because this is a perfect example of how links matter for your maps rankings. Starting with this section right here. You do not build links to maps unless there is traffic. I repeat, unless there is traffic coming in or out on those links, just building links online, whether it's in a drive stack, whether it's on a guest post, a press release, if no traffic or the propensity for traffic is going to hit that link, building links is useless. So for instance, if I have each one of these right here, these bad boys right here, okay? See this in the red? All right, I'll make this a little fatter so it's easier to see. And I'll do blue, okay? See this in the blue here? This is a product. It launches a pop-out. I'll show you what it looks like in order to showcase to you what I'm talking about. See how there's a button here? This text doesn't matter. This is useless. All right, you can fill it out if you want. It's something. I mean, it's something, but it doesn't matter. These words here matter. This first sentence matters, and then this link matters immensely. Okay. Now, the reason why that matters is because remember, the only reason why traffic or the only reason why a link to a GBP is going to be created is to pump traffic to it. That's it. Traffic, impressions, engagement, interactions. That's everything for maps. It's all about proximity, relevance, prominence, and authority. That's everything. The proximity and the engagement that you receive dictates how you rank. How your traffic engages with you and where it comes from and where it goes and how long it engages with you matters for maps. No question. This is why I have 230 businesses, and out of those 230 businesses, 30 of them are a failure. And I guarantee you, out of those 30, there's service area. There's no center point. There's how and why would a traffic, I can't push directional traffic. I can't run requests for traffic. Like engagements can increase, but traffic to asset cannot. This is why it's a struggle. I digress. Let's move forward on this. So this link that's going to this right here, and I just did this little pop out for a reason, okay? So I'm going to get rid of this. Remember, this is for educational purposes only. If there's a problem, message me. I'll blur this out, okay? The brief time that it's here. And if you cause me trouble, I know you're listening. Here, take a look here. So this right here will link, remember, to a page, right? So now I have multiple ways to drive traffic to this asset. This is a URL. It's a dynamic URL. No, I'm sorry. This is a static URL. This is a URL that can be shared. Now, this URL right here to this product can be shared on what? Well, it can be shared on Reddit. It can be shared on your LinkedIn. It can be shared as an ad. It could be shared in a PBN post, a guest post, a press release. Okay? And now I have a static URL that I'm able to push traffic to. Not only am I able to engage with the GBP, but then there's a clickable link that goes to the website that I can now engage with a page and then have click through to go to another page. High retention, long dwell, and I'm able to interact with multiple pages within one session. So I have a query, an idea I need to have answered. I start a session. I go to Google and I search for who's the worst personal injury lawyer in Philadelphia. And I scroll through and I click on a listing, right? Remember, I'm in a session. I scroll through and I click on two of my competitors, we'll say. Then in the same session, I write, well, who's the best? best personal injury lawyer, top personal injury lawyer, neat, cool, dynamic, greatest of all time, most seasoned, multiple variations that are semantically related to personal injury lawyer, that would be trust terms, that would generate one of my what? One of my posts that's found organically online. Now, the reason why I said PBN post, press release, Reddit, LinkedIn, social media is because they're high authority. If I'm getting traffic, there needs to be visibility. Google knows that the probability of a person clicking on page 2 is nil to none. Most searches are done with, or most clicks are derived from either ad, map, or 60% in the top 3 sections. So that means that if I want a click not to be undermined by Google and I want it to be a valued click within a session, better be ranking. So that means if I am looking to enhance the popularity of a GBP, then that means I want to share, this is one asset, but think of every static URL that's within your maps listing. For the guy that asked, my friend, static URLs in your maps, get your list. Share as many variations online as you possibly can on authoritative assets that show up. Reddit, LinkedIn, posts, PBN, press release, guest post, whatever you could think of. YouTube videos, it doesn't flipping matter. Wikipedia, share everywhere. I'm not building links. I'm building referral sources to push traffic. If you go out there and just build the links, nothing will happen. But if I can send reference traffic to the asset from especially other platforms to my listing, and then it engages with my brand, now you have something. And that's why links are valuable, but it's not the link. You've been deceived. It's the traffic that is generated within a query. I need a session to start, have a query, and at the end of the session means I got the answer. Google did its job, and the session ends with you. Most notably your GBP. But it can't have a sequence. It can't have a repetition. It can't be the same. It can't be the same query, variation of query. It can't be the same time. It can't be the same device. It can't be quickly. It can't be a big splurge. There's many algorithms. Anything that has a repetitious, like if you're doing the same thing, you're going to get whacked. If you go too far outside of if I'm going too many standard deviations above the traffic normality of the website or the GBP asset, you'll get cracked. So there's math involved, and you need to understand that I need to find my best averages of either website and GBP. I need to know what traffic, what time of day, what days, what type of devices. And I'm looking to slightly influence exactly what I have coming in to more areas from more areas. Now you can make viral campaigns and I can send bursts, but I would blend that with ads. I need referral traffic and reference traffic that is validated and embedded. And nothing's better than going to see Caesar. Caesar's Google, by the way. Right? I can blend traffic and get a nice push. If you want to do a viral campaign, go lay down some coins, pump some ads, and then start running your whatever system you have. All right? But I digress. I'll answer any questions that are left. We're going far in the weeds here, friends. Now you got questions. I'd have questions too now, huh? Yep. I'd have questions too. Well, let's see them. Hi. Well, hello, my friend. What does this say? Hanny girl? Hi, Hanny girl. Good to see you. Hi, sir. Oh, hi, sir. So I assume that you are not in America. That's okay. Good day. And it is 4 o'clock. Oh my gosh. All right. Get any questions that you might have. I would love to help you out. That's why I'm here. please take the time, if you would like me to look at your GBP, if you would like me to take a look at your website live, go through it, give you the deficits, give you a competitive analysis free. I'm not going to harass you. I'm not selling courses. I don't do any of that junk. Right? But if you want me to take a look, give you honest to goodness help with any of your assets, I have a 3 name, email. How can I help you? 3 pieces. Scan this if you're on a phone. If you don't want to, you can go here, sendfox.com/SEOmastermind.org. SEO Mastermind. Okay? Make sure you spell it right, not like me. And then I'll answer your question, ma'am, okay? Go right here. Email, name, how can I help you, or do you just want the newsletter? The newsletter comes once a month. It will have whatever the best video is. I do mini trainings within my mastermind on YouTube. Not YouTube, on my regular mastermind, I do mini trainings. I give those away for free. So mini trainings, buy one, get ones, deals, or if you just want me to help you out with an audit, complimentary, and not be harassed, hook it up. Go right here, okay? Anyway, moving forward. Also here, since you're here, I always, my brother and Big Mike, my team member, partnered up. They always say, how come you never promote? So here, I'm promoting, all right, at the end. Supposed to do it at the beginning, see? The worst marketer alive, they say. Here, come on over here. All right. And go to PR services. All right. We have a new service available. We have level 1, level 2, level 3. Check out our PR services. We have monthly or one-off. I assure you, I have one of the best lists you will ever enjoy. You can take a look and see the lists for yourself. I've laid them out for you at prices that are unbeatable. 3. Okay? We do the monthly. We do the writing. We do the internal linking. We SEO optimize. I have great lists. Enough about that. Let's answer your questions. All right. You want map service? We have a new map service available. All right. Check us out. I would love to help you out. You need full management? We do full management at the unbeatable price. 2 posts a day. Optimization, traffic, engagement. You want your maps done and you want it done right for a fair price? Come see us. If you just want us to do engagement, nothing else, by all means, I have an opportunity for that as well. If you come right over here, you go to service. I have my PR. I offer consulting, but we also have just a basic where we do engagement, and we'll send you a weekly or bi-weekly, I should say, GeoGrid. My good friends at Local Dominator and I teamed up. I'll send you a bi-weekly report. We'll hook you up. We'll do traffic. We'll do reporting. I'll also do your posts. Check us out. We have that as well. Now, if you don't want anything, you don't want it managed, that's fine. It's cool. You still want the unbeatable prices? Here, check this out. chrispalmer.org. Come over here. Scroll on down to the bottom. If you just want engagement, right? If you want something sick, come over here. Click right on this. Google Maps CTR. Nobody's messing with us. When value exceeds cost, that's called a sale. I assure you, that's what I have. That's why it's set up this way. All right. I love you guys. Let's answer your questions. All right. For my team members that are always saying, Chris, you never promote. We have great services, but you never say anything. Dude, I'll talk to people I'll meet people and they'll say, I didn't even know you had a mastermind. I didn't even know you offered services. Well, I'm for my New Year's resolution is to promote myself more, right? I never let's keep going. All right. See that I lost 2 people. That was probably my biggest fans too. Your competitors are your biggest fans. Let's take a look. It's probably my boy Jackie. Let's take a look here. I made a website on an EMD a few days ago. It's not started getting impressions after indexing. Made a website a few days ago. It's not starting to get impressions after indexing. Give it time, my friend. A few days ago, if it was a brand new website, it had no age. It wasn't auction. It wasn't anything. Give it some time. All right, you got to give it time. Patience is virtue, my friend. Hey, Chris Love from China. Oh, a lot of my offshore team is in China, Singapore. A lot of good friends. I love you, China. China, China. I've also read somewhere that you invented one of my favorite products. It's a paper product. I thank you for that as well, China. I need to go to bed. I'm going to bed here. How to optimize search queries on website to get ranking on them with which are getting impressions by matching and mirroring the winners and increasing the density within the page. So if I'm starting to get impressions, you need to do a few things. One, build supporting content and build internal links to that page. Two, take a look at who is in front of you. If it's a local website or if it's a national website or if it's a product, if it's an Amazon page, I don't know. But look at the average of the SERP. If you're curious, look up on-page SEO optimization tutorial. I did it. It will have a orange. It was on a Halloween day. Well, that training is missing 2 sections, but that's my training program. All right. Now, yes, I left out the entities, and I also left out my understanding of syntax, entity usage, but the basic optimization, the stuff that's far more than what you'll learn, I assure you, there will be enough to get you on the road. All right. But I had to leave out some of the pieces. I couldn't give it all away for free, right? So there you go. But entities, they go into your headers and you want to increase your density. The LSIs and the syntax. Syntax is the overall corpus. So you want to match and mirror your winners. If you want help on how to do that, there's 2 tools that I would highly recommend. And no, I don't have links. I don't have any sauce in it. One, there's a tool out there called Cora. It could be hard for some, but Ted made a light version, Cora Lite. All right. I don't know what it costs. I have no clue. But what I do know is that's a great tool for analysis. It's a math tool. It's a measuring tape. It's a barometer. It will analyze the top performers and give you valuable, measurable insights on what to do. The other tool that I would highly recommend is it's called Page Optimizer Pro. Don't look at any of the AI junk, right? Sorry, Kyle. Look at it. It's doing the calculation for you. If you don't want to count what to do, let it do the calculations for you. All right. I saw my boy didn't put me on the list, Surfer, but I don't like Surfer anyway. So Pop is better, in my opinion. But Cora takes the sauce, though. Ted's one of my favorite guys to listen to. I don't really go on YouTube much, but Ted, Kyle, great guys, Clint Butler. These guys are very, very quick. There's a couple others, but those tools are great. Okay. I think Clint has a schema tool. It's pretty sick. But now with AI I will use for schema though. In fact, I don't use AI. I use a spreadsheet. I created it once, and with substitutions and formulas, I'm able to create my schema types, perfect schema, based on sheet. It's done in a sheet. So I am a boy. Okay. My apologies, sir. All right. Going down the list here. How much I have to wait to get impression before going to re-optimize? 30 days. If Google sees your website and you do a site : search for your URL, you can retune immediately. So if you're seeing it just in Search Console, but when you're doing a visual search like this, okay, what's great about on page is you can get your answers and retune quickly, right? But you probably don't have enough authority. If it's a brand new website, give it time, 28 days. But the on page and the on page only. All right. Now, the reason why I would give you two separate answers is if you're building links, links are a factor, or you're doing any external work, those are factors that you're introducing. Now, if you've just created the website and you just created a page, when you're optimizing your page, you do a change. And when you get 2 crawls, check your server log. When Google comes twice, if you don't like where your SERP rankings are, then you can go back and re-optimize. So what you'll do is you'll do a site :search for, say, chrispalmer.org, right? Or whatever your site. Take a look, okay? And analyze. If you don't like where you're at and you're not doing link building or anything else, great. What you can do here is you can then re-optimize your page, and then you wait, you check your server log. Just check your server log. When Google comes to the page twice, then you can readjust if you don't like where your rankings are. Okay? So that's how you do that. You can do it in a day if you wanted to. I doubt that for a new site, but within the week. Now, if you're introducing other factors and you're making changes, give it 30 days. All right? I would assume if you're doing a brand new website, you just created the pages, you probably did a bunch of external work too. I would assume. If that's the case, give it time. Do not, it's a long game. All right? If I can give you anything, if I don't ever see you again, patience. The more patient you'll be. It's kind of like, I spend a lot of time doing trades, right? Every single morning I wake up for 9 a.m. I do my trades. I make my nut for the day, and then I go back. I take my little nap, right? But it's all about patience. Don't let your ego get in the way. It's not emotional. It's just time and patience and effort every day. Consistency over time is how you build authority. All right? I wish you the best, my friend. I really do. I love you, man. You have a great rest of your day. That's going to wrap it up for me. I'm going to bed. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Many, many blessings. Wow. I'm just warming this back up. Be prepared. My life is back in order. I am going to pummel YouTube. So if you have anything that you want me to make YouTube videos about, need tutorials, guidelines, either sign up, scan the QR code. It's in the beginning of the video, also in the middle, or you can visit chrispalmer.org. Tomorrow, I'm hoping, I don't know what's going on with my application, but I'm waiting for Apple to give me the okay. I don't know what they're doing, but SEOmastermind.org will be back up very, very soon. It's actually still online now, but SEO Mastermind, Grey Hat SEO, chrispalmer.org. I'm going to bed. I love you.